Senator Marsha Blackburn had quite the Fox News appearance yesterday when she was asked about the consequences of the Senate races and whether if Democrats had control of the Senate and Joe Biden could do what he wanted, how scary and terrifying of a possibility that was. Let's take a listen to her answer here.
He said that he would repeal the Trump tax cuts. He would raise the business taxes. He would begin implementing the Green New Deal. And then they're going to put everybody into government-run health care. That means no private sector health care, no health insurance from your employer. And it means that 57 million Americans that are on Medicare, everybody will be going into Medicaid. They're also going to expand the Supreme Court and give statehood to D.C., a city. Give statehood to D.C. and also to Puerto Rico, thereby having a Democrat majority that would be hard to ever get rid of. Now, that is their first 100-day agenda. And don't take my word for it. Take Chuck Schumer's word for it. He said, first, we're going to go take Georgia, not win it, not fight for it, not try to earn the vote, but take it. And then they're going to change America. And I don't think that's the kind of change that people are looking for.
The thing that I really enjoyed about this, Rachel, is she starts off in the realm of like the colorably true. You know, she says he said he's going to repeal the Trump tax. Okay, he said that, right? And then she increasingly like diverges from anything approaching reality. When she gets to the like, he's going to start implementing the Green New Deal, I'm like, I wish, but no. And then she goes down this like government health care, and she invents this whole thing that no one has proposed of putting everyone into Medicaid, which is not something that anyone has said or talked about. Like, I just appreciate the steady divergence from reality as she continues to list the terrible specter of socialism that she sees rising in America with Joe Biden as president.
Yeah, I started tuning it out about Green New Deal because we know Joe Biden is affirmatively not going to do that.
Yes.
If I'm going to sort of put on my best Senator Blackburn interpretation hat, I think what she's, to try and represent what I think she's saying, is I think, she's looking at the specter of complete Democrat control of the government. And she's saying, look, or at least if I were her, I would say, look, Joe Biden probably not going to do all these things, but I worry that Joe Biden will not be a meaningful check on the people who want to use the Senate and the House to do those things. And again, in fairness to I think what Republicans fear to some extent, you did see many Senate Democrats line up behind the idea of nuking the legislative filibuster in order to pack the Supreme Court, insert parade of horribles here. And for people that care about divided government, checks on, one institution having too much power, fundamentally changing the nature of our institutions to sort of cement political power is an outcome I think many of us fear. Now, I think the left fears it from the right as well. But that was a base motivator for, I think, a lot of Republicans. So I think that's what she's trying to get at.
My question is because, look, obviously, literally nothing that she named is actually going to happen, whether Democrats have control of the Senate or not. Because ultimately, let's say the Democrats pull it off and win both of these Senate races in Georgia and have this incredibly, one vote majority in the Senate, right? Then you're talking about having to negotiate with people like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema and these new members of the Senate from Georgia. It's not like AOC and Bernie Sanders are going to be running the show, right? So that's a part of this that ends up being completely absurd and ridiculous. But I do wonder from your perspective, what do you think in a scenario where Democrats do take control of the Senate? How measurably different do you think that outcome ultimately is than if Republicans keep control?
Well, what's interesting is that from where I sit, I actually don't think Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema are the biggest barriers here. Neither of them are profiles in courage. And what I mean by that is they're not going to be the deciding votes, right? If Chuck Schumer puts nukes the filibuster and puts packing the Supreme Court on the table, Joe Biden's not going to be the one, or Joe Manchin's not going to be the one guy that stops it. I've been watching Joe Manchin for a long time. He's not going to be the one. What I do think would be a more meaningful check is sort of the old bulls of the Democrat Party who I think actually do resist sort of the more progressive ideas. So I think you'd really be held up by people like Chuck Schumer, or potentially people like Dick Durbin, people who have been around the Senate, sort of are more cultivated in that tradition of neoliberalism on the left. That I think actually would be your bigger bulwark than, say, having to deal with the Senate's moderates.
Well, and part of why that is because Schumer, and this is the way they always think, will calculate what things are going to put my vulnerable senators in a tough spot. So they won't be raised, they won't be brought to the floor, because it's all about protecting people from actually having to take votes and having to be on the record for what they stand for and what they believe here ultimately. When socialism does not come to America under a Joe Biden administration, do you think there will be any revising of the insane, caricaturish Fantasyland idea of what's about to happen by Joe Biden on the Republican side? They've been on this socialism beat for quite a while now, and none of what they're saying is actually going to come to pass. Do you think there will be any reckoning with that? I already know the answer.
Hell no, Krystal. There is money to be made here. We have to raise money to prevent socialism. What are you talking about?
Yes, I forgot. I forgot about that. Rachel, thank you so much. Great to have you again today.
Thanks a lot.
Tomorrow on Rising, we got another fantastic show for you. Will Jawando and Henry Rogers will join me for the panel, and founder of the Daily Poster and editor-at-large of Jacobin, David Sirota, he's going to return with some of his recent reporting. We're also going to have the Hill's Reed Wilson discuss why 2020 really was, by the numbers, the worst year ever. No surprise there, but interesting data that he brings to the table nonetheless. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, do not forget to like and share as well. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you all.